G'day guys, deadman316 here with farming science for you. As you would have seen in Brenny Beast's video, water can hydrate tilled soil in a 4-block radius, and that includes diagonal, so it's a little bit weird. These ones here I placed here while it was raining, and they did get hydrated, I should say. So we'll just turn the rain on, and you'll see that these ones will get hydrated, but they'll get dehydrated once the rain stops. They'll be hydrated soon anyway. So I'm using a source block for this one. Now as you can see, it doesn't actually have to be a source block that's there. It will still do an extra 4 lines. So you can have your water block stream its total of, but in a straight line it'll just spread in a direct 8 block radius. You can also place the dirt above your water. So if you're in an ocean biome, you could just simply plant water over the top and till it for the hydration, and it'll be able to grow your wheat at least. I don't know about cane. I think they need to be, they need to be directly hydrated. Actually, we'll place another one over this just to make sure. Yep, they need to be near the actual water source. Now, as you can see, the rain did hydrate these 4 blocks here. As the rain stops, it's going to, in fact, dehydrate the soil. Now, our sugarcane needs to be directly in line with the water. It doesn't have to be a source block, but it does have to be directly next to it. Sugarcane is probably the hardest to automate. A lot of people use pistons to break it down, but I'll show you my method in a minute. Pumpkins and watermelons. A lot of people I've seen on at least OzMC server plant them incorrectly, as I did when I first started. And that is placing them as though they're going to turn into a watermelon in this type of formation. That's not actually the case. You need at the moment, I know in the snapshots it's changed, but you need a tilled bit of earth next to where your seed is, so that it can spawn off it. And as you can see, you need the gaps, so that you can actually get the most profit out of your farm. These two are attached to the one, and for now I'll remove that one, and hopefully towards the end of the video I'll be able to show you that it can't actually spawn another watermelon. Once it's attached to one, that's it, no more. As you can see here, it has to be in a straight line. It can't be diagonal. They're not attached to the pumpkin. And this is my setup for basically the most efficient way of getting your watermelons. Would be to just have 2 lines separated by another 2 lines for your watermelons to actually grow. The science behind the watermelons and pumpkins is that they need to be broken in order to harvest. Well, whether you punch them or use items in order to destroy them. Now, I've got set up here 12 watermelons in a row, just to demonstrate how in fact you can break these. Now, one piston breaks only 1. Now, we know the pistons can't move 12 blocks. So, let's see what happens when we use only 5. If it'll break them all or not. Nope. It still gets jammed on the second one. And I believe that's a sticky piston. If it can move one, oh no, it's just normal. just to show you that even one, it won't move, pretty much. Now I've got two here with a sticky piston and a block. Just see if that makes any difference, which, unfortunately, the squishy watermelon still breaks. This is the way that I would suggest you do it. Either from the top or the bottom, which I'll show you in a second. You can break them, or smash them into pieces, basically, with a wall dividing it so that it's easy to pick up. So just hit the button and pick up all our watermelons. You can also use water to bring them to you. If you see my farm towers, you can see how that's done. You can also just use pistons underneath just to make it a little bit easier. Along with these, we have sugarcane, which can only be planted either on dirt or sand. And these can be pretty tricky to farm, actually. I've got a water source up here in order to filter it through easily, but as you can see, they don't want to break. Now, the reason why they're not breaking with the water force is simply because of two reasons. One, there's another block that to water that acts as a block. So it's too strong for the water to actually break, since they're being fed. Now if we cut off its water source, we'll see they all just simply break because they've been dehydrated. But as you can see, with the one down lower, it's not going to flow there because it still acts as a block, and water, being stupid as it is actually quite weird. You can't have the block there. It needs to have basically the science behind the water is that if you have an extra block on either side, it's simply not going to flow. Now, in order to stop this from happening, which you would have seen in a few videos, that it's simply not coming through, all you need to do is simply have your simply have a wall a bit higher so that it won't happen. Drape them. Now you can see that it can also cause them to snap, and if that one was a little bit higher, we wouldn't have had that single one sitting on top either. So that's the way that you combat that situation. You do need light for most things to grow. That's just that's the basic principle of reeds or the sugarcane. That they need to be dehydrated. The soil needs to be dehydrated in order to be able to pick them up. Here I've got a source block of water with some growing cactus. These two need to be broken in order to harvest them. You can easily get more growth if you replace the source block of water with another cactus. Now, cactus are weird, as you'd see in most automated farms. They can't be placed directly next to another block. However, this can help us. In order to farm them, we can quite easily use a piston and they'll all break off because there's theoretically another block placed next to it. Or if you wanted to automate it, all you would need to do is then grow your cactus in a similar fashion, but mostly I see people do them in rows, just with the two, without the one in the middle. So that's an easy way to maximise the efficiency of your cactus farm. Mushrooms need a dark area to grow. We've known that for quite a while. I only planted one in here, and they're very slowly spreading. The problem here is they're not going to spread very far. But when Notch decided to make that change, he also gave us a new tool to use, which is using the bone meal on them. So you simply put bone meal on them and then smash them, and eventually you'll get some extra mushrooms. I don't know if it's going to work for me here, being in creative and all. That unfortunately is the easiest way to farm mushrooms at this point. And it doesn't take that much effort really. Okay, so that's the basic science of farming and the way to use water and manipulate water in order to be able to semi-automatically harvest your items. Thanks for watching. Bye.